This is a mango tree. And this is Zashlumea. Why start here? How are they related? Well, Zash grew up in a small village in the Congo. And before he was born, missionaries came to his village. His father received Christ and later became a pastor. When he was a young boy, his father led him to the Lord. He followed this calling through school and eventually completed his doctoral work in theology. Because someone took seriously the mission that Christ gave us, Zash and his family came to know Christ. Well, one thing began to trouble Zash. Why is Congo only a receiving station of missionaries? Are we not able to send missionaries? When we read the instructions of Christ to go, it says, make disciples in Jerusalem, Judea, and in Samaria, to the very ends of the earth. Was somehow the church in Congo excluded from this command? So underneath a mango tree in 1990, he, along with several others, began a school devoted to missiology. The vision: prepare workers who are ready to be sent as missionaries, making disciples, reaching cross-culturally. Well, along the way, they were blessed enough to be able to purchase a compound in Kinshasa where classes are taught. The Missiological University Center is a non-denominational ministry determined to train men and women as missionaries. Well, the last 2 decades have been difficult for the Democratic Republic of Congo. In 1990, it was known as Zaire, and their dictator, Mobutu, was slowly losing power and was using the last of his energy to rob Congo of its great wealth. Well, by the end of the 1990s, Mobutu was out, but things were not much better. In fact, what began in August of 1998 became known as the Great War of Africa. It involved 8 African nations, as well as about 25 other armed groups. When the dust settled in 2008, the war and its aftermath had killed over 5 million people, mostly from disease and starvation. It was the deadliest conflict worldwide since World War II. Chances are most living in the U.S. have no idea how devastating this war was. It's a miracle that my friend Zash is alive. It's a miracle that the center survived. This is Noah Kabemba. Noah's the administrator of the center. He has the difficult responsibility of determining what bills get paid and those that cannot. He decides if instructors and their families will eat, or do we repair an electrical problem or a sewer issue? Do we paint, or do we replace light bulbs? Well, many of those who work for the center also have other employment. They are pastors, educators in other venues, denominational leaders, they're artists, nurses, and more. Many have more than one job, because one job may not pay this month. And then how will you provide for your families? Public teachers continue to work hoping to receive a check from the cash-strapped government next month. Drive by the military bases, and many of those are selling the allotment of fuel. Why? Because soldiers haven't been paid, and they need money to care for their families. This reality for the center means the buildings have fallen into disrepair, and without funds, they may be forced to quit what they're doing. Well, when Kelly and I came to the center in January of 2008, we returned later in July of 2009, and we've been back every summer since then. We stay there for a month on the compound. We have seen firsthand the impact that these students are making. They understand the mission. They're planting churches across the Congo. They are going into the bush to reach pygmies, along the rivers to reach the rural, into the large cities. They've sold everything, and they've left to plant churches, not only in Congo, but around Central Africa. Hey, here's a picture of hungry kids who are being fed by one of the churches started by a student from the center. We see hungry children, and we often get our checkbooks out. But what if I could convince you that there's something more worthy of our investment? I believe I found it. It is this center, and my fear is that its doors will close and I will have done nothing. So this is what I'm doing. $50,000 in 50 days. Now, I don't have a lot of money, but Kelly and I are determined to raise at least $1,000 in the next 50 days toward this goal. The money will not be used for any other purpose other than to make sure that these repairs are done on this property. Will you join me and several other of my friends? 50,000 in 50 days. Make an investment that will outlive you. Thanks.